Eternal Threads preview: Forgotten future: 6 people are dead because of a house fire. But what if you had the power to reverse time and save them? That is the very simple, but very poignant, plot of Eternal Threads, a game coming from Cosmonaut Studios in secret mode next month. It casts you as an agent, sent from the future, who has the power to change the past. You're dealing with a very specific event, a house fire that killed all 6 of the home's residents. But by visiting various moments in time from the week leading up to the fire, perhaps you can stop it ever happening. Few video games have a plot as captivating right from the get-go as Eternal Threads. The ability to change the past and save lives. Count us in. Even more captivating is the fact that there are hundreds of points in time that you can visit, in any order that you like, as you try to piece together what exactly happened. As you do, you'll unravel the lives of the 6 people who lived in the house, and maybe uncover a few secrets as you go. As with the previously mentioned locked door, some areas are off limits until we find a way to access them. This means that some events are not viewable, so paying close attention to the information in each event is key. I didn't manage to get all that far in my time with the preview, mainly thanks to wanting to explore fully as well as re-watching several scenes to look for more clues. What I did play though certainly piqued my interest. There are a lot of potential outcomes and alternate paths to them to find and unlock, and even at this point there are a few extra arcs that have me wanting to get back in there and scavenge around for more info. The acting thus far has been average at best, but the writing feels natural and engaging enough to make up for it. With about a month to go until launch, we don't have long to wait to find out if the narrative payoffs can make it worth hunting through several dozen scenes and choices in order to find that sweet spot to save everyone. We're pretty confident based on these couple of hours though, so here's hoping. Set across a 7-day timespan with over 150 events to investigate, with less available if you choose an easier difficulty level, but doing so makes attaining the final ending impossible. Eternal Threads has you exploring the house after the fire and using fancy technology to conjure up events from the past in a ghost-like fashion, listening into conversations and gradually gaining an awareness of the dynamic between the 6 individuals that live in the house. Whilst playing back certain events, you'll be informed that time corruption has been found, and it's here where you'll be presented with an opportunity to change the event from its current form to an alternative variant, with the more tweaks and alterations that you make to the timeline having an accumulative effect on the conclusion event that resulted in the deaths of the 6 main characters. Rather than just being something of a passive observer, there's more to Eternal Threads than just watching the events of the past unfold themselves and occasionally making the decision to alter the outcome. You see, Eternal Threads also has more than a bit of Gone Home going on with it too, meaning as much as you'll be spending time watching events and altering them, you'll be spending a near equal chunk of time exploring the house, collecting items, solving puzzles and discovering items and clues which shed further light on the denizens of the house. Through such a time-jumping mechanic, Eternal Threads delivers an original approach to plot progression which the developers even term as a narrative Rubik's Cube. It helps to keep the intrigue going as you flesh out the characters through the snippets of their interactions that you eventually piece together. Fleshing out the NPCs is also aided by the fact that all conversations are fully voice-acted and professionally done so throughout the plot. However, the plot is mostly about the 6 victims rather than the 43 character you play as, who, based on my time with the preview, feels more like a placeholder for you to view the stories of the NPCs who are actually the protagonists of this game, somewhat akin to Road 96. If not for the player character, I hope that the full game also explores the story of the cryptic organization 43 works for. In contrast to the aforementioned indie game Road 96, Eternal Threads is lacking in traditional gameplay. For the most part, it is a walking simulator, with minor actions such as pressing a button to learn more about specific items in the scene or picking up a key. You cannot even crouch and can only interact when prompted to. You'll mostly walk around, aim your visualizer at a location where an event takes place and view that event. Of course, just watching a pieced-together video of past events isn't going to magically change the future. The device also allows you to make choices for the residents that differ from what occurred. These are often quite small. The landlord wants to text his abusive ex-girlfriend, but his flatmate argues strongly against this. You can make the call as to whether he texts her or not. Doing so will show different subsequent events. Many of the choices Eternal Threads lets you make don't even have such an immediate change noticeable. But the idea is that, with enough of these little changes, you'll be able to save the people of the house and get one step closer to righting the lab's wrongs. Of course, you're not solely just watching 200 scenes play out. You have free reign of the boarding house, but you'll need information gleaned from the recordings to get access to all the rooms in the backyard. Some doors are locked, and there are places in the house you wouldn't even know to look for. One recording clues you in on the fact that a tenant has a key to another's room. Said other room is locked, so you'll have to track down the key in order to view the event. It's all very clever and the voice acting is of good quality, which helps make for a compelling narrative experience. Eternal Threads has quite the concept, and I'm looking forward to digging deeper into it and seeing just how loopy the time travel gets. With a little bit of luck, the tenants of the boarding house just might be able to survive this ordeal after all. But it all depends on choices made along the way. For much of the game, you're simply a bystander, watching echoes of these events play out in front of you. But you are free to explore the house, too. And, like a point-and-click adventure game, you'll be able to find some useful items, like a key to access a new part of the house, or some relevant information that helps paint a fuller picture of someone's life. Eternal Threads is a game that lives and dies on its narrative. Ultimately, this is the story of 6 housemates, their relationships, and the events that lead up to a devastating event. If their story isn't interesting, then the game isn't going to hold your attention. But we can confidently say that Eternal Threads had its hooks in us very quickly. Each character is well written and excellently voiced, feeling like a real, believable person. Even better, for us, at least, as we hail from the north of England ourselves, it's set in a seemingly ordinary Lancashire townhouse.